Bam, go. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hey, if you're catching this live or you're catching the recording, awesome. So glad you're able to join us. This is a training that we do every Wednesday night. Me and my great friend, like a sister to me, Michelle. And we actually, host this, and we actually love just helping people out all over. And so hold on. Trying to make sure. Okay, so I did start to record. Great. And so my name is Anthony Moreland. For the people who don't know me, and a lot of people are on my team and not on my team, and you may just be watching this recording somewhere. But hey, I'm Anthony Moreland. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I actually got turned on this industry 9 years ago, you guys, and it's been a blessing ever since. But it's also been a great blessing because I've stayed plugged in over the years. Little trainings like this, big trainings as well. And so, hey, today we have a special guest. But Michelle, I don't know if you were able to get some questions together, but if not, trust me, I wrote some down to cover you. But we got a special guest tonight, and it's a good friend. He's become like a good friend, like a brother as well. I've gotten to meet him. Matter of fact, he's been at every event since I met him. What was that? Since we was in Utah, right? Weren't you in Utah, Josh? Earlier this year? Yeah. So I met him in Utah earlier this year, or now about 6 months ago, 7 months, maybe even a little bit longer than that. But ever since I met him, he's always said, "Hey, if you need me, I'm just one call away. If you need me, I'm just one call away." He said it so many times, and it always stuck in my head. And I was like, "I'm gonna reach out to Josh." And then I was like, "No, I don't think I should reach out to Josh this yet." And then he'll be like, "Hey, if you need me, I'm here." And I just always respected it. This is somebody I didn't know before Utah, and he would always say something just like that. And you guys, it meant the world to me. And I was like, "Well, okay, well, I'm gonna have him on the call tonight." And one, I want to give a big congratulations to him because him and his team just ranked advance. What rank advance did you get to, Josh? I think you muted. Oh,
Yeah, no, we had a lot of stuff happen to the team a couple weeks ago. We had 4 people get to ultimate, which is a big deal, as everybody knows. We had one of us get to vice president, and another one of us get to officer. So it was a good team week.
awesome. Well, Josh, this is a Q&A. It's just more of a talk, just kind of getting to know you and just kind of sharing your story as well as,
Sure.
broken down. But it's people on here who don't know who Josh is. They don't know who Josh Koepp is. So Josh, where are you from?
I'm originally from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So if everybody's familiar with Michigan, I'm sure Detroit, Grand Rapids, that whole scene. The Upper Peninsula is actually attached to Wisconsin, so it really doesn't make sense that it's actually part of Michigan. But yeah, really quite near Canada.
Okay, awesome.
Yep,
And
that's
so
home originally.
home originally. So where are you now?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. Well, there's a lot of great people from Colorado that
Yeah.
join our call. Matter of fact, my good friend who hosts this with me, she's Colorado too. She's awesome.
Yes,
Michelle.
yep, she is.
She's awesome. But okay, so Josh, you're in Colorado. Okay, so how long have you been in New Age art?
Well, a long time, almost since inception. So going back to 2013.
Okay.
So yeah, probably about a year and about just over a year after RX launched. So a lot of our other leaders came on board, and then came to me and said, "Hey, we found our home, and here I am,
Awesome.
8 years later."
Awesome. So before our New Age RX, how long were you in network marketing before with that?
Yeah, I've been in network marketing collectively about 16 years.
16 years.
So
Okay.
a couple other companies. In through that time, you learn what works, more importantly, what doesn't work. And after you've been, burned by a couple of different things, you have criteria going into a new company, and thankfully RX check marked the box on a couple of those.
Okay. So you telling me you learned more from your failures than you did your successes you had over
Yeah, I
these
mean,
16 years. Okay.
yeah, no question.
Okay,
Yep,
because
by
I mean,
far.
I know some people. I think we all can raise our hand to say we've all failed at something in life, and so I just wanted to make sure that you just didn't have that overnight success because some people think that everybody they talk to is going to sign up. Some people think that every day is supposed to be a great day. Every month is supposed to be exponential growth, and
Yeah,
so you've been here a while, so and that's why I was thinking about which route can we go, and that's the route I really wanted to go. I mean, I'm looking at people on here, and most of these people have been in at least longer than a month for sure, at least, and so they've
sure.
been here a while. And so they, some of them may have had some success and they came back down, just like me and you probably have experienced in our own business. And I know pretty sure in 16 years, uh, you've had that as well. And so, with that being said, what is one thing that you can? What is okay? So, really, what is one thing that has kept you around for those 16 years? Like, what has kept you involved? Like, because 16 years is not something that it's some people who work at their jobs right now for 10, 15 years and they ready to quit.
Hmm.
What has kept you around for 16 years?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I always knew the industry was good. I always knew it made sense because whether anybody wants to admit it or not, or knows it or not, we're in network marketing every day. We all refer and recommend people to anything and everything that we experience that we have a result from, right? It's no different if we take something like Rejuvenex and feel more energized and focused, or if we have a good meal at a restaurant or a good pizza or whatever it is, we're telling people about it. So the concept of network marketing always made sense. The problem was is that I never had the right vehicle and didn't really know that until I found RX. So I tell people I've been in for 16 years and they're like, wow, you know, what's going on? I mean, why aren't you, chair level 8 in RX? I mean, everybody's got their own journey and everybody's got a path plotted for them accordingly. And had I not gone through what I went through in my two previous companies, had I not understood what bad ownership was all about, had I not understood what policies and procedures uh, looked like that had full autonomy for the owner, had I not known what bad ingredients and bad products were all about, I wouldn't be prepared to do what I do in RX now. Now, be glad you're in RX here within the last couple 3 years, because I was there when we were just a year and a half old. Just talking to a good friend of mine about this earlier, and I've joined the company when we had 5 products. I joined the company when we had a really bad website and we had terrible shipping, through all the hoops and hurdles and trials and tribulations. But that's what it's like when you join a company early. And now look what we've morphed into, and we're not perfect, but we're well on our way.
And that's what that's what I really want to get to, because a lot of people may think, man, I wish I would have got in then. And I can
Mm,
say the same thing. I mean, 9 years ago, I joined Lima, which is now one of our house of brands.
yeah.
And when I first got started, I remember our website we had to pay for a website. And now you get it for free. So that is something that a lot of people just kind of take for granted. We used to have to pay for a website that didn't even do, I wouldn't even say 25% of what it does now.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh yeah.
remember couldn't even check to see how close you was to a rank and different things of that nature. And a lot of people, kind of take that for granted, and so that's awesome right there. And you had to see the course, and I remember you were just on the what was it, the A-team call? You were just on the A-team call last
Yep.
Thursday, and you did say that everybody has their own journey, and I'm a
They
firm
do.
believer of that as well. Everybody does have their own journey, and so it's pretty awesome that you stuck around for 16 years, even when times were hard. I know times was hard. So if there was 3 key words that you could give to everybody tonight about to sum up what kept you excited and everything like that, or that they can go and sleep on tonight, as later on, what would be 3 key words that you could just think of off the top of your head that you would say?
Belief, comfort, and perseverance,
Mm.
in no particular order. Number one, know that you're in the right company. So that's belief in your company, belief in your team, belief in your leaders, your product, your processes, everything that encompasses RX, right? Persevere through getting no's. Persevere through somebody not messaging you back on Facebook. Persevere through somebody telling you you're nuts and you're another one of those things and whatever. Again, we're all on our own journey. Other people are on their own journey. They don't know what they don't know. Our purpose in this company not only is to, let's face it, we're in network marketing to make money. I get that out of the way immediately. That's what we're here for. Now, what comes along with that is what drives us, right? It's our passion to help people, to provide hope and opportunity, to be able to provide a vehicle for people to have a life transformation in their health or their wealth. So persevere through people telling you it ain't going to work, or you're not good enough, or any of those stupid limiting beliefs in our minds. I mean, we battle it all day long. Third component that I mentioned is comfort. I suffered from comfort for a long time in this industry. I've always had a great job. I got out of college. I had a really good sales executive job in the insurance industry. What kept me in network marketing was knowing that that vehicle was so much better than the corporate vehicle. What kept me from going in 100% was that I was comfortable with the great income that I had with my job. So figure out what's going to drive you. Being comfortable is great, but being comfortable is also produces a sense of being stagnant and lethargic and just going through the motions of life. So I don't care what it is, whether, for me, it's a lot of things. It's a lot to do with my family. It's a lot to do with my future family that's not here. But for you, it could be, making sure a kid's college tuition is taken care of. It could be, retiring your parents. It could be a number of different things, right? Figure out what that is and what gets you in the gut, and attach your business to that purpose.
Yes. I love that. Oh, figure out what's going to drive you. Wow. Amy Summers always, talks about the ladder, what's at the top of your ladder, what is at the top of your ladder. And, so I just always encourage people, to think about that. Put it everywhere. You know, Man, what book was that? I was reading something and they was like, you need to write down your affirmations and your why and put it in your wallet. Have it places where you always go. Well, we all pretty well, for men, we always grab our wallet. Women always grab their wallet. Put it right there where the money is. So you see a little index card, fold it up and put it in there. So when you grab money, you pull that out and you just gotta read it and it kind of reminds you. That's just a little tip there. But I know you've been in since pretty much year at the second year, pretty much almost since the beginning. Um, and I heard you mention also that be glad that you're in now and everything. Okay, and so
Mm-hmm.
with you seeing everything that's growing, how would you say that how much more effort are you putting in now than you was maybe a year ago?
A
Is
lot more.
a lot more? Okay, and
Yeah.
why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that it's a lot more?
Because in this industry, it's very common for a company to kind of plod along, right, as they're trying to figure themselves out. You're trying to gain footing, the company's trying to gain footing, and then when the culmination of timing can be a hype word, right? But timing is real. Timing is a real thing. So when you have things that converge, okay, product, processes, marketing, infrastructure, companies coming on board, all these things culminate at one time, and then all of a sudden that skyrockets. And it's when that momentum starts, when you start to see things like our merger, us going public. amazing brands like Limu coming on board and, you know, several others to come. It's when you say to yourself, okay, if not now, when? Because the stars couldn't align more perfectly. You have the perfect vehicle. So I always describe it like this to people. We've always had a Ferrari. Okay. We just might not have had the power steering or the heated seats or the whatever other accessory that makes you want to have something in a car. We all have that now. So it makes the ride that much more plush and that much easier to go out and make this thing happen. So everything is coming together at the right time. And, you know, things have been great leading up to this. They always have been in RX. But with the addition of, like I said, some companies, the merger, all of those things have just made this the absolute ideal timing. We got something coming the first quarter that I can't really talk a lot about or at all about. And it's going to completely revolutionize the industry. So be glad that you've got something equivalent to Uber. What Uber did to the yellow cab industry is exactly what RX is doing to the network marketing industry. We are going to be soon the Amazon of the retail consumer space.
Now, Josh, I've seen a couple times, couple little posts here in the last couple weeks since you had that rank advancement about just people praising you for your efforts and talking about how full your schedule was. So would you tell us a little bit about what the last couple weeks have been like for you in regards to what have you been doing with your team, with regards to reaching out new people, helping new people get going? You said a couple people made Ultimate. So we're just kind of curious, what has that process looked like for you to get that traction and that momentum going?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, number one, nothing happens for you personally until it happens for your team. It's just a fact. It's just like building a house on you build a house on a sand foundation. You're not going to have much of a house. So I'm just a firm believer in building up the team and making sure that no matter what the goal is, I don't care if the goal is you got through all your boss videos. That's an accomplishment. But bringing people into the company and saying, okay, you're going to start with this pack. We got to get you to Ultimate. Let's map out a plan, and then executing on that plan. Those are wins all along the way. So I was heavily focused on helping my team do that. We had 4 people to go Ultimate. They all came in with a 250 point pack. But my day to day is making sure that my team understands that, you know, whether it's cold market, warm market, they're reaching out to people, they're setting up initial appointments, and then hopefully they're setting up that second appointment where they can bring me on to a Zoom. And my day is jam-packed with Zooms, either my own or my team's. So it's nonstop. I mean, it's 5 a.m. calls with, you know, with people in Russia. It's 2 a.m. calls in Singapore. It's whatever it takes, because we've only got one chance to hit this, you know, in the beginning. And so, you know, the team that I brought on board, they got connections all over the world. So I'm having to navigate that sort of stuff right now. But it's just staying plugged in, daily activities. I pour into my team a lot. And, the last thing that I would recommend anybody do is bring somebody on board and give them a list of things to do and say, I'll talk to you in the next week. That's just never going to work. So I'm busy with my own stuff, but a lot of it is team driven as well. I hope that answered your question, Michelle. It's kind of a broad answer, but that's kind of what's been going on. Yeah,
it does. So did I hear you correctly that those 4 people who went Ultimate, that they all came in with a 250 PV pack and then hit Ultimate?
Correct.
That's awesome. So I have a lot of people on my team who have come in at that 250 PV level and then have that goal of hitting Ultimate. So when you sit down with them and map out that process so that they can achieve that goal, what does that look like?
Yep. So here's what I tell people, and this is how it's designed within our comp plan. Okay, we have 4 weeks to hit it by your own purchases or through your own purchases or customer purchases. If they don't get it done in the first 4 weeks, the company gives you an additional 4 weeks, but it's 2,000 points and the clock goes back to 0. And you have to do it through bringing on business partners. So I'm leaving that second 4 weeks out of the picture because it's much easier to do it in the first 4 through product purchases and customer purchases. So we just map out a plan. Write down everybody you know. Cold market, warm market. I always use the term lukewarm market, people who you know vaguely through other people. And let's just start making calls. And the calls are simply this. Hey, Anthony, listen, hey man, I hope you're doing well. Listen, I don't know if this is going to be for you. And if it is, great. If it isn't, no big deal. I just got started in something that's it's really exciting. I don't know much about it at this point in time. I'm really new. All I can tell you is it's a global company. We're in 73 countries. I've had some amazing experiences on these products. Do you anybody looking to get healthy, lose weight, have a life transformation for their health or their wealth? I'm just looking for some referrals and some recommendations right now. Something like that. And I just rattle it off quickly. It's not exactly that, but it's along those lines and saying, hey, would you be open to watching a short, however many minute video, whatever you want to send them? And I'd love to get your feedback and anybody that you're thinking of while you're watching that. See, the key is that you don't want them to think that they're the prospect. Let them qualify themselves as a prospect. Hey, I want you to watch this. Would you be open to watching this? And while you're watching it, think of some people you could connect me to. Well, innately, everybody's going to watch that and say, well, I mean, me for one. And then of course I know 5 or 6 other people. That's how you start getting customers. So it's that, and then it's whatever else that you want to purchase on your own. But yeah, we map out a detailed plan.
That's awesome. So what are the first steps that you give them? Obviously you sit down and map out the plan with them for hitting that ultimate. Do you have a structured system that you go through to get somebody started? And if so, what does that look like?
Yeah, for sure. Having them go through the entire BOSS system. I mean, and I know that's kind of a boring, bland answer, but that BOSS system's back there in our back office for a reason, because it works. We have some team videos that are, stuff that we've developed that allow people to learn things on a little more of a deeper level when it comes to comp and what it means to go gold or what it means to go ultimate. So it's getting those small wins. It's the BOSS. It's getting through, reach outs. How do I reach out? So I help people craft a first reach out message. Now, the one thing I would caution everybody on this call about doing that is don't script everything you do, because you're going to come off robotic and you're going to lose your authenticity. Having a conversation about what we do is no different than if you're standing in the grocery store in the kale section talking to the guy next to you and saying, hey, how you doing, man? Have you had the red kale before? I mean, these are just basic conversations, right? So if you reach out to somebody on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it might be, you've got this scripted message because you're approaching it as they're a prospect, you don't have time to build those relationships. And building the relationships involves trust. Most people in social media expect people to reach out to them that they know are in network marketing or in some kind of business to try to sell them. They're closed off right away on that stuff. So I'm really big on your first steps, reaching out to cold market, warm market, lukewarm market. It's vital. It sets up everything.
So you don't necessarily lead with, hey, this is what I've got going. It's more about building rapport, building relationship, being authentic and genuine so that people don't feel like you're after them.
Absolutely. I mean, something simple like, hey, Michelle, hope you're having a great week. Notice you're from Denver. Hey, I heard they got some snow out there. Hopefully it, it does something with the fires. Looking forward to staying connected. That's it. No agenda, because not everybody's going to be a prospect. Not everybody's going to be a fit, but your job is to plant seeds all over the place.
So speaking of planting seeds, we have this 7-day recruiting challenge training coming up for us with Eric Worre. How are you presenting that, sharing that with people? Maybe they are in another company. Maybe they are already familiar with RX. You've talked to them previously, or maybe they're just in something completely different, but would benefit from this training coming up. So how are you sharing this opportunity with people?
Yeah, I'm careful about that, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm under some kind of timeline with people, right? But no, that's definitely a focus. I think that anytime that you can bring, Eric Worre into the fold is certainly a nice thing to have in your hip pocket. But I am not really approaching that whole thing any differently than I do everything on a daily basis. Maybe with a little more urgency, but really just kind of staying on point with things that I've already put in place. I know that's kind of a boring answer for you, but like with like any kind of a challenge, right? There's going to be a little more urgency. There's going to be more that you're doing with your team to try to speed things up a little bit with prospects. And maybe it's going back to other prospects and saying, hey, listen, I don't know what's changed or what you're up to since we last talked, but here's what's changed in our company. And the beauty of it is we have the ability to go back and say, even if it's 2 weeks, things have changed in our company. Whether it's our stock price going up or us, getting information that we've got more companies coming on board in Q1. We've always got that ability. So if anything, it's just a little heightened urgency, and it's a little bit more, hey, let's figure out where people are.
So you've had the opportunity to go through several seasons, and by seasons, I mean, like, as the year goes, we're coming up on the last quarter of the year. It's kind of the holidays, and people have a lot of life, during these next couple months. We've got events and family and gatherings and whatever. And so we've been hearing a lot of talk about, gear up and stay focused through this last quarter to set up a good 2021. So as you've seen that ebb and flow over the last many years, what are some tips that you could offer to, because I think we have a lot of new folks and some maybe who are getting restarted. So what are some of your big tips for going strong through the last part of the year?
Break the mold on the typical thinking that the holidays are time to slow down and just coast, because they're my most favorite time of the year to build. And here's why. This year might be a little bit different because we got a thing going on, and not a lot of people are around each other. But what typically happens during the holidays? You get together. So you're having a health transformation. You're excited about products you're on. What are you going to want to do? Tell people. So you've got, whether they're friends, family, distant cousins, whatever, you've got audience coming to you. So again, this isn't always about getting people on board for business. Customers matter just as much as business partners, because it's all product volume. So everybody can use a health transformation. So utilize the time, but not in like an overly pushy way. It could be something as simple as saying, hey, Michelle, what's new with you? Or, what's going on with you? Gosh, having a great year. Yeah, just been great. I've been on some new product and just, the stuff called Rejuvenex or whatever you want to use, and just feeling really good, sleeping better. Everything's, everything's been going really well in this. I know people will inquire about that. They'll want to know, like, really, what are you doing? So utilize this time, especially with your family, but also utilize it in terms of, you're going to talk to your friends and they're going to tell you, gosh, it's really, holidays are here and I got to buy all these gifts, and this is always a stressful time of the year because of money. There's your opening. Well, Bob, Jim, how would you like to go into next year and not have that be an issue? So there's a lot of door openings that occur in the holidays, but the typical way of thinking is that, oh, the holidays are here. No, I'm just going to relax. I'm going to eat some good food. And I'm just going to kind of coast, and then I'll start back up on January 1st. Never works. So think about it as a way to onboard yourself, almost kind of re-onboard yourself for the first of the year. What are you going to get in motion? So when January 1st comes, you can either close out the people you talk to, or have gotten product in the hands of people you've already talked to, so you can see some results, have some life transformations. What seeds are you going to plant during the holidays when other people are saying, I'm just going to take it easy, that are going to bloom and blossom when January 1st comes? That's the way to look at the holidays, in my opinion.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. So I have been noticing for myself, and probably I think there's many others that could relate to this. It's easy to share and talk about, your testimony about your transformation, and, I've lost X amount of weight, or I used to have this joint pain that's gone now.
Yep.
That piece of it is fairly easy. How do you then naturally transition in a way that's authentic and not pushy salesy, that invites people to take a look?
Yeah. So I keep this really, really simple. So, Michelle, if I was talking to you, let's just say, for instance, we got you started on burn, the drops, and a few other things. Anyway, you had a health transformation. Okay.
I think you're frozen,
great.
Josh. You're frozen on my end anyway.
Oh,
No,
no,
I think
you're frozen, Michelle. There you are.
You're back.
Okay,
So,
I think I got you back. If you would just start at the beginning with that question again.
Yeah. So let's just say that, Michelle, you had a result on the products. Let's just say that you were on burn, the drops, whatever, the greens, whatever else, right? You had results. So I would have a conversation with you and just say, Michelle, do you, foresee yourself wanting to, stay on the product? Most people do. And you would say, well, yeah, I can't, I don't want to get off the product. I can't wait to try more. Okay. Well, we got a couple of options. Number one, I know that there's people that you would love to have experience what you experienced. So we can go talk to those people. We can figure out how to get your product for free. And we can do that by two ways. Whether this business is for you or not for you, Michelle, here's what we have. Depending on the pack of products that you want to come in with, here's what it does. It allows you to either A, purchase products at wholesale, guaranteed for life going forward, or B, refer and recommend other people to do the exact same thing you did, teach people to do the exact same thing you did, and reap the benefits of those results, thereby building a business, or both. Either way, it's a win-win. So we figure out what route you want to take there. Nobody doesn't want to get their products for free and help other people. So it's really a conversation depending on how the person wants to transition. Most of the time that conversation happens within weeks of them being on product. How can I get this in the hands of some other people? Stuff like that. So
that's something that you generally do with someone who's come on board as a customer first?
Yes, absolutely. Most of the time I have people come on board to set up a wholesale account, because whether they want to order product or not, they're set up, they got a spot in the tree. I just position like this. I said, hey, no, it's just a package of products. You're not spending $300-400 for a sign-up fee. If you choose to do something with the business, great. You're set up perfectly for that. There's going to be a business built in and around and beneath and, all around you, around your position. So from a business and product standpoint, that always makes the most sense. However, if I have somebody who just starts with a little bit of product, then I talk to them about the results and transition them later.
That's awesome. And then do you have a way, like let's say you come across a cold contact at the grocery store, and the conversation naturally evolves to RX or some aspect of it. What is a way that you found that's comfortable to you to invite somebody who's never heard about it, but shows an interest, say in the business side of things, to take a look? What does that invitation look like?
So I'm a big believer in asking a lot of questions to gather as much information as you possibly can to craft your message. So if I'm standing next to somebody in the grocery store and we're sitting by the veggie aisle and we're going back and forth and I'm gathering information, I'm asking questions, enough questions for them to say, what do you do? And this is always my standard response. I help people all over the world get on track nutritionally. And by doing so, I'm able to help people have a transformation in their health or their wealth or both. And it undoubtedly always results in, well, what is that all about? Hey, listen, I know you're busy. I'm busy in the grocery store. If you would be open to it, I'd love to grab your email. I could shoot you a text and I'll send you a short video. Check it out, and then we can connect on the phone. I'll fill you in more on the details. But I always say, if you're open to it, the word interested immediately triggers something salesy, pushy. It's never a good connotation. And then I just take it from there.
That's awesome. That's really smooth and comfortable and communicates that you are not after them, that it's something that they're participating in, that you're asking for their willingness. And I like that. Because really we want willing partnership in this. We don't want to drag people with us. Yeah. And what is your favorite first video to show when you do that, Josh?
Yeah, that's a good question. This really depends. And I hate to give you that answer, but
it's true. It really does. And you have to know your contact.
So if I'm talking to somebody who's in network marketing, I know that I have 3 legs of the stool that's going to get them interested: protection, pay, products. So typically, if somebody's already in network marketing, I will start off with our RX Origins video that's on the RX Corporate YouTube channel. That's an older video, but here's what it does. It gets people thinking, because Fred Cooper talks a lot about the Bill of Rights, talks about how we do things differently. And anybody who's in network marketing will start to think, well, geez, do I have that in my policies and procedures? And then what I'll typically do is follow up with, we have a video within our team that just covers, it's 10 minutes. It covers some products, some transformations, hits on the business a little bit. It's just enough for people to say, I think I only want to be a customer, or I want to be a customer and I need to learn more about this business. And then I have a follow-up call with them. And my first question is, what'd you like best about what you learned? And what questions can I answer? And then we just go from there.
That's awesome. So that video that you say is within your team. Is that something that you guys share elsewhere, or is that something you try to keep to your team specifically?
We actually have something very similar to it on the RX Corporate YouTube channel. I haven't used it in quite some time. I know that Chris Doyle has a few on his too, but I'll get that over to you, and you guys can kind of, see if it works for you. It's a little bit team specific, which is why it doesn't always work for everybody. Just because most of the people who are sending it out are in the video. So anyway, it could work, but if nothing else, utilize some stuff from it.
Sure. Well, if nothing else, it would be conceptual for how to do that for other teams.
Yeah.
And I think we learn by example and seeing how others do things. So, just seeing what's working well for you, as you've obviously begun to experience some good momentum and you're having other team members experiencing success, and that's moving you forward in your own business. So we would love to see that if you're willing to share it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do know RX is coming out with a series of corporate videos. Actually, 2 of them are already out there already. One's about 1.5 minutes. The other one's 2.5 minutes. I think Rick told me this 3rd installment should be about 4 to 5 minutes, which is going to be kind of an overview. So I know that stuff is coming too, but yeah, we'll absolutely have a look at that.
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic. And I'll kick it back over to you. I think that's all the questions that I had for Josh. Give it to you. And if you have any more, great. And if not, you can probably close us out.
Okay. Well, I pretty much got maybe
Thanks,
one more area I'm gonna go towards. Because like I said, I met Josh earlier this year. I think it might have been it was like March, it was April, something like that. It was early in the year. But I also turn around and see him on the Zooms. Then I turn around and I see him in Dallas. And then he reaches out to me and said, "Hey, I'll be in Destin." And so you've been in network marketing 16 years. How important would you say events have been for you in the success in your business?
Monumental. Yep. If you're at all serious about learning how to build a business, or you're already in that process, get to the events. We have what I call a phone-based business, right? That we oftentimes work from our home. At times we can feel pretty isolated, no matter how many Zooms we do, and no matter how many pandemics or crazy things we're going through in the world. If we're able and it makes sense, get to see people in person, because there's no substitute for it. See people speak on stage. Go up and talk to people afterwards. Brainstorm with people. There's just nothing that can take the place of tangible time with people who are successful in your industry. You just never know. And the one thing that we all suffer from in this industry is measure and comparison. That's one thing I want to throw out. Just don't compare yourself to what somebody else is doing. Like I said, we're all on our own journey, right? But you might hear something that just clicks, and hearing it and seeing it in real time is different than just hearing it on a Zoom. So all I can tell you is that they're just highly impactful. I've never missed an RX event. Never will. They're just that important. So I don't know how else to say that, other than if you have the means to get to this event in Florida, get there. I know some of the content on Friday and Saturday, and it's exceptional.
Oh yeah. I've been in 9 years as well. Well, not as long as you, but in 9 years I missed 0 events. Just because, hey, have I always had the money to go? Nope.
Right.
Nope. But
Same.
the first thing that always came about for me, you guys, and I'll tell you this, and this is anything. I mean, probably been hearing Brent said a lot this week and the last couple of weeks, is first you got to make that decision. See, once you make the decision in your mind, it doesn't matter how much it costs. It doesn't matter how long it get there. It doesn't matter if you got a babysitter yet or any of this or anything. It doesn't matter about any of that. But once you make that decision, it seems the man upstairs always finds a way when it's something you truly want. He'll make a way for you.
No question.
And so I just want people to realize that. And I just want you to touch on that, because we do got events come up. We got the 7-day recruiting challenge. We got a destination event. Destination events are so powerful because I can come back and tell you about how wonderful the event was. I seen Robin on here. She can tell you about how great the events were. Val, you, Josh, we can tell you about how great the events are. But there's nothing like being in that room, in that atmosphere, and being around those people. And like you said, being able to walk up to them and shake their hand. Maybe it's somebody you've been following and you be like, man, I wish I could be just like them. Well, okay, well, go take a picture of them, come back home and put it on your mirror on your refrigerator and say, you know what? I'm gonna make it to the top like Aaron Decker. I'm gonna do this like such and such, or whoever your role model may be. But see, you actually get to be there with them, you guys, and that's the thing about events. So I encourage you to one, make the decision that you're gonna come to Destin. Can you afford it? Probably not, but that's okay. But once you make the decision, then you just start putting in action behind it. Start figuring it out. Like, you know what? Maybe I can slide a little money over from here and put it over from here. Put it over from here. Put it over from there. I mean, we all got to make the decision. It's just similar to the decision when you made that say, hey, I want to start this business. Some of y'all may have had the money to do it. I remember when I got introduced, I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't have the money to do the business. My friend Justin Martin came to me, you guys. I did not have the money to get started. But after he finished sharing with me, I said, you know what? I want this to happen. I'm not encouraging you to do this, but this is what I did. I know that my cable bill would give me 30 days if I missed it to pay it before they cut it off. I remember calling AT&T and DirecTV and saying, hey, I can't afford it this month. Can I get an extension? They gave me 30 days. Same thing with cell phone bills and everything. So, but I'm telling you, it would be worth 10 times what you're going to spend to get there. The information, the knowledge you get from the leaders there. I mean, being in 9 years, I've been around amazing leaders. I see Robin on here. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I always thought Limu had the best leaders. And then when we merged with RX Josh, I ain't going to lie. I see Mama Eva on here. These are people I was learning from. I've been learning from them for the last 5 years or so. But it seemed like when we got to RX as well, not only did I already felt like we had the best leaders like Brent Palmer and Tammy and them, it just like put more icing on the cake. Now I get Aaron Decker. Now I get Chris Doyle, Dr. Ginger. I get all these amazing people. And so that's what you get at the events, because these people are wide open to answering questions, you guys. And I encourage you to make the decision for you. You know, you don't have to have the money, but once you make the decision, you'll start to figure it out. Trust me, it's been plenty of times I made it to events and I did not have the money, you guys. I did not have the time to take it off. I did not have this. I did not have that. But those are all excuses. So all excuses are the same. So it's all up to you. Make the decision. Get there. You know, get on the 7-day recruiting challenge. Do that with us. And I promise you, if you finish this year off hard, it will set you up. I got started October 8th. 9 years ago is when I got started in this business. In January of 2012, I was also in Limu. We had the BMW. I came out of the holidays and I was driving a BMW 2.5 months after getting started. You know what I'm saying? So I started in these months, but I made a decision. I sacrificed some. Yeah, you're gonna sacrifice. Yeah, you might have to take time away from your family. They'll understand when you're able to help them out, like I'm able to help out my grandmother, right? You know, be able to pay their bills. You know, my mom is understandable now because she understands when she needs something, she can just call me without, you know, financial issues isn't the problem, but I made a sacrifice, you guys. So make the decision, you guys. Make the decision for yourself. Sometimes I say make the decision for other people, but sometimes you just gotta make the decision for yourself too. So many times we try to please other people, we don't please ourselves. We don't even have it, you know. Okay, maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend don't accept what you got going on right now. Your spouse don't accept what you got going on right now. Okay. Do they tell you what job you can take? If you was going to apply for a job right now and you went to apply, do you tell them, hey, I apply for all these jobs. Which one can I work for? Which one is acceptable to you? No. You don't do it. It don't work like that. You take the job that does you the most. That's how you need to treat your business. Sometimes I think a lot of us will treat our jobs better than we treat our business. You heard Josh say he got comfortable. He just missed. He been in the industry 16 years. He say, he was comfortable with what he was making from his job. He kind of put his business he puts it to the side. What I'm encouraging you to do is treat this like you wrote the check, Robin, like you wrote the $1 million check. This is a $1 million business. I had the right to get started. And when you actually start to do that, it will pay you like that. Ask Robin, ask Josh, ask Mama Eva how they checks look when they treated it like a business. Call up Brent Palmer, call up Aaron Decker, call up Chris Doyle, call up get to the events. That's all I encourage you. Treat it like a business, get to the events. Did anybody have any questions for Josh? I seen Amanda ask one, but I think Michelle already asked it. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
He's here, you guys. So this is our guy for the night. Any questions for him before we let him go?
While we're waiting for somebody to pop up, Josh, I just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for your insight and for being willing to share. It's just amazing to come in and see the RX leadership that is so willing to put their heart into helping others to grow, even when there's nothing that you gain for your own team or financially from this. It's so valuable to us, and we're just very grateful to you. So thank you for your time.
My pleasure. I think one of the biggest things that we can do in this industry, and one of the biggest blessings, in my opinion, is to be able to help people who you're not financially connected to. Again, just like getting to an event, it's an investment into yourself. I feel like these opportunities are investments into yourself, because you never know whatever you're doing, whoever you're talking to, what you might learn, and what you might say that might just help somebody achieve something they're trying to achieve. So these are there's thankfulness on this end as well.
Awesome. And also, before we do get off of here, tomorrow morning, just like every Thursday morning, Robin hosts an opportunity Zoom for it's really for people that's maybe been in the business a while or prospects. So if you got a team member that you think of that needs to hear Josh's story, I encourage you to pick up the phone and say, hey, I just got off a training Zoom with a guy that I believe you can relate to. He's going to come on tomorrow morning, and I just want you to hear his story. You don't have to pull out your credit card. You don't have to do any of that. I just want you to hear his story. And see, that's the way to build for an event. Josh will be on tomorrow. You just heard Josh's story. I know that you probably got people in your mind thinking like, man, they need to hear Josh's story. They need to hear this. You got team members saying they need to hear this. Guess what? Tomorrow morning, they can catch them live. That's at 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain. And you can figure out the rest of the time zone. But I encourage you to pick up the phone and call somebody. I love giving homework assignments. So you were here. You didn't sit here for 55 minutes and then get nothing. So out of one thing you may learn from Josh, who can you think of that could hear just that information? I encourage you to reach out to him. Call him tonight. Invite him tomorrow. Because I got somebody right now. As soon as I get off the phone, as soon as I close this Zoom, man, I'm gonna give him a call and say, "Hey, what you doing tomorrow at 10 a.m.? I need you to get on this Zoom with me. I need you to hear this guy's story. I think you could relate to it. Team member, it could be a prospect. It doesn't matter, but you got to build for the events. Josh said it earlier. Build small wins. That's a small win. Will that person that I invite sign up? I don't know, but it's a small win. It's it's building for an event. All it does is teach you how to build for events, and then you get better and better. But any question? I see Mac unmuted himself. Mac, you got a question for Josh?
He's gonna say, Josh, thanks for the information. I'm up here in Evergreen. Maybe we can catch up sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Any questions for Josh? I mean, thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate it, my brother. And anytime you need me, same thing, vice versa.
Yeah. No. We'll do this more often. And again, if I can jump on any other time, you just let me know. Happy to do it anytime.
Anytime. We can definitely do it. Thank you so much. Any questions, anybody? If not, I'll go ahead and stop the recording here, and we can go ahead and let Josh get on, and everybody go on, have a good night.
Thanks, Josh.